Hey, I'm Luis.
And I'm Luis.
And you're listening to the Content is Profit podcast,
where we talk about entrepreneurship, mindset, and of course, how to turn your content into profit.
Yes. Go to contentisprofit.com and join the community. That's right.
That is right. As you can tell, we have a little bit of a new setup. My brother here, he changed it all up. We got the dog on the back knocking the light.
That is the one difference. We have the dog in the back.
We also have a new sexy light over here.
I know.
Ooh.
You should see the other side. It's like our gaming setup on that side.
We're gonna start streaming some games. So stay tuned for that. But today we're coming fast and furious to the Content is Profit show. Just to start the year strong.
That's right.
We gotta show up.
I know.
But also give some updates of what's coming up in the BIZBROS world.
I know. Well, first of all, I want to say a Happy New Year, man. I think like for people listening, and this is like probably like week 3 into the year, but as we're recording it now is January 3rd, the first Monday of 2022. We celebrate the 3rd calendar year, like with the show. This like that we did 2020, 2021. This is the beginning of the 3rd year, FONZI, of the show. Insane.
That's pretty incredible.
Incredible. Wow, new world, guys. New word. Incredible. And so I want to congratulate you, man, for the consistency. We were a little rough at the end of last year, and we might debrief that in the future, but we're happy.
All right, so what's next for BIZBROS? I don't know. I'm going to throw this. I haven't actually talked about it with you.
We haven't talked about this. This is going to be completely live.
But I think this would be a great idea for the show, which is make some episodes a little bit more raw. So kind of like the discussions that we have behind the scenes.
Oh, boy. Are you ready to cry?
Talk about it on the show. So like challenges, for example, right? Yes. Like we have been going through some challenges with the agency, right? Like offer, clients, like a bunch of things.
Yes.
Guess what? Let's discuss this live on the podcast.
I love it.
How did I get that idea? Because I was listening to these guys that are doing that, and I was like, man, like that is such a good resource because as we're talking like this, they're coming up with solutions. And they're helping me, right? That we're in similar situations. I was like, man, like,
yes, we
could be helping so much people by making some of those conversations, more open for everybody.
Okay, I like it. Do you have a way on what conversation are we gonna tackle? It doesn't matter. Is it like legit? Like, let's go free flow.
So it's gonna be
what's up?
Free flowing, but it's gonna be kind of like my first million style, where we come up with a few topics, right? I'm like, hey, I want to talk about transitioning from high volume agency, for example, to more of a specific quality, right? Like, is there a diminishing point of return, point of returns, right? Is this how it's called?
Yeah, we talked
for content. For example.
We talked about that last week. Or maybe we can do this like the high quality, a little bit less volume, but more volume, a little bit less quality as far as like highly produced. Same accounts and see what happens.
It could be, right? I mean, I think there's a lot of things that we could discuss, right? That's part of what we talked about the other day. We've seen it online. Some of the content that's been getting the most traffic, at least in our bubble, that we're following and looking at, right, is this highly animated content in a sense, right? So
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? All right, show me the content that is not like that has been grabbing lots of traction. That is like 1-minute clips, like social media, not like Mr. Beast stuff. Yeah, obviously we love Mr. Beast stuff.
I think what you call highly produced is very different than what I call highly produced.
I mean, I'm not calling highly produced like Netflix. By highly produced, I mean, like you're putting more care into the product.
You saying we're not putting care into our product?
We put lots of care into our product. Why? But we can always put more care into our product.
Always. And by the way, like for behind the scenes conversation, this is a heck of a good one. Like we had a meeting, a couple weeks ago with some of our team members, right? Which with this exact same thing, right? And quality on content, I guess, or what we've been dealing with some of the clients, or not some of the clients. I think this is internally because we haven't really received much bad feedback on that end. Like everybody seems to be pretty happy with the product that they're getting, right? And excited. But it's like internally we're like, hey, how can we push this bar higher? How can we get it better, right? And
how can we help them win?
Exactly. And internally we're like, okay, well that is under my point of view, right? That's very subjective to the client, right? Because maybe like we're delivering A, right? And for them, A is incredible, right? but because we're so exposed to a lot of content, right, there's always something that can be better. And I think that's part of the journey, right, on content creation, on content production, right? Because at the end of the day, like if you control your process, which is what we encourage everybody to do, you can see those things, but you have to start at a certain level, and then you can be like, oh, can we put this in place? Like what you're saying about the animated clips and and that route, which there might be some stuff coming.
You know, like this is how I see it too. When we started, we always said quality of the message over quality of the production, and I totally believe that. I still do believe that, but now we're bringing the production to the table. Like we are the muscle. Right, when a client comes in, we're like, we are the muscle, we're gonna help you out. Now this is where my personal dilemma comes, right? My moral compass, this is what it's telling me. It's like, okay, if a client likes it but is maybe not, I mean, and I'm not saying it's not giving them the best result possible. Maybe they just want to have content just to have content. Maybe they're not looking for any specific results, but in our mind we are like, man, like we can create something that can give you better traction, right? Or maybe you are distributing in the wrong channels. We can create something for better channels for you, you know, that are gonna get you more eyeballs, more traffic to whatever. Like, even though he's 100% happy, are we delivering, you know, up to what we can actually deliver? That is like my dilemma right there. Like, I understand, obviously, like, yeah, we gotta make him happy, and is there happy and there's no feedback? Awesome. But if we can still improve it, right? If we can still deliver something even better.
I think it's way more, it goes beyond that, because we literally just jump off a call, somebody that's coming in the next couple of weeks, right? And one of the questions that we ask is like, hey, what is the objective of this content, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, this person does quarterly challenges. So in that, whenever we're promoting the challenge, that's going to be the main point. But the end of it is like, this person speaks publicly, and literally the objective is brand awareness, to make sure that the feeds are consistently, you know, with new content every single day, right? So maybe for that person, those metrics, that attention is very different, because they're using content as a leverage tool for their speaking gigs, that maybe those metrics don't matter a lot. So I think like there's going to be a few scenarios. Like, for example, I think it also depends on the type of audience that they have been able to develop, right? For example, for a podcast like My First Million, right? They're highly, they lean towards the creator side and those metrics a lot more than the business side, right?
The B2B side, yeah, of course.
Exactly. So I think there's a happy medium there, but then there's also room to improve 100% of everything that we can create. 100%. And I think that has to be a step in the process of every single person that's creating content. It's like, okay, we create a base of consistency. Perfect. With the content is going out consistently every single day. Yeah. Now that's the baseline. How can we get it better? How can we continue with consistency, but continue to improve and continue to innovate?
Like, I agree with that. I mean, I think the fact that we always ask, like, obviously, what is the objective of the content is key, because it helps us create for that. I think the content has to have some, you know, like, so far it has had very specific points, right, on what we create. But I think we need to add, personally, I would like to add one more that I think it would take it to a whole different level. But then we got to figure out process aside, which I still think is going to be a good thing, right? Because we got awesome talent. And I think is the question on how do we make each clip unique, right? And I think that's where we got to balance kind of like volume and quality a little bit. Like, again, just like figuring out that point of diminishing returns, right? And it's the same with quality, right? It's like, onto what point a clip actually, you know, is going to give you a good return. And, you know, return can be, people can measure it in different ways, right? Like financially or views, whatever it is. In this, there's plenty of data to track these things. But I'm curious, right? Because yes, we've seen some pretty dope, you know, and epic animated content, but we started realizing like, oh, these people actually stop posting those stuff. Maybe the cost is too much and there's the returns are not worth it, right? Whether that is on views or whatever it is, like, what is the point of diminishing returns? But I think there is a big jump from, you know, I'm just gonna call it regular social media content to like start innovating a little bit with like each individual clip. I think there's a good jump on like what can be achieved there, and then it gets to a point where it's like, oh, diminishing returns. And I think it's the same with volume, honestly. I still believe you gotta post as much as you can.
Yeah.
I believe that 100%.
I keep
but I
going
think
back
it gets to a point diminishing returns.
I don't think so. I think it goes back to Holly, right? Like, and if you're giving our content as an example, right? We haven't been the best at publishing, right? Since we lost, Giorgio to his radio show.
We miss you, Giorgio.
Which, by the way, incredible. Like, he got a radio show deal, out of working with the BIZBROS. Damn, bro. That's incredible in a different country. But anyways, like, that was the person that was handling a lot of like the post production for the micro assets, like the distribution side of things, right?
Yeah.
So we haven't really had any hard data to kind of prove that, right? Because like,
I mean, the data that we had was from the period that we were publishing, and it was all positive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, it's still positive, but we have to still go. Maybe we'll do a full debrief on that in the future. But what I've been able to see is like is obviously less because we've published less micro assets, right? So it's like, okay, what is that? But I keep going back to the story of Holly, right? And she's like, we have this page, and the more we publish, the more data we gather, the more it continues to move forward, right?
I agree, but I mean, she did publish inside of her group that she was doing all that publishing.
It was her Facebook page. You can go back to the episode.
Okay. Well,
I think we need to wrap up because I need to go get Luca. But I like this.
Quick,
I like this.
Yeah, this is really cool. All right, quick. What's in for content in 2022? 2-3 sentence.
In general or us?
Prediction. No, for the world. What do you think is going to go?
World?
Yeah.
It's going to go 100% video, right? Like, this platforms like Clubhouse and blah, 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 like whatever. They're going down.
They're going to add video, I'm sure.
They're going to add video, like live video interaction. Call it Zoom. Streamer.
I don't know.
Riverside.
Bold prediction.
I think short form is absolutely necessary. Like, your company has to have either an in-house team that handles that, because that has to become the standard for every single one. So get cooking.
Get cooking. This is what I think. I think besides live shows like this, of course, and YouTube, I think long form content is going to be very difficult to like succeed with. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a huge demand for short form content, right? 1 minute less, Reels, TikTok, whatever, those type of content. And then behind paywall, that's where long form content is going to succeed, right? So memberships, courses, that's where like you want that long form content, newsletters, right? Or even people after they sign up and they opt in into something, they want to watch a webinar or whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see, honestly, like 3 5-minute videos on Facebook or LinkedIn being that successful. For what I've seen lately, honestly, I've been digging a lot into LinkedIn lately. There's a lot of good reading content. Like, reading content is like king in there.
Could be.
And I mean, maybe they come out with their own 1 minute short, like, Reels type of platform on LinkedIn. That'll be interesting.
I mean, you got YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's doing it. So they started doing stories. So who knows?
Keep an eye on Snap, guys. Snap is the top consumed platform.
Well, that's for like Gen Z.
Yeah, but still in front of TikTok, which is insane, right? We're not there. We have to be there.
Yeah, well, that's for Gen Zers.
But still, top, like overall, it goes Snap, TikTok, and then Instagram.
I know, but again, you do gotta go where your customers are. Especially if we're talking on a B2B,
Yeah. Where are you going to be indoctrinated? You're not, 2-year people.
My 2-year people. It's not going to be in Snapchat. They're probably hanging out on LinkedIn. Either way, I like this. This is awesome. Let us know your predictions for content in 2022.
Should we publish our podcast on Pornhub?
Yeah, we gotta put a warning for this. We gotta make a warning for this.
No, so, there's a reason I said that. There's a case study.
You gotta explain it, because if not, people's gonna be like,
"What?
What are these dudes?"
We're dressed, by the way, if you're listening. No, it was a mathematician guy, right? Like he would teach from China,
either China or the Philippines.
Yes.
I'm not sure, 100% sure right now.
And he started going viral, getting massive amount of views.
He's a college math teacher.
Professor, yeah. So he's like, okay, where do my college like student go to hang out on the internet? And he kind of figured out that the students were going to Pornhub. So he decided to upload his math classes into Pornhub.
Yeah.
And he was like fully dressed. It was just a legit math class.
He was giving a math class, yeah.
But he would upload on Pornhub like it was on YouTube. And apparently he got massive success. People were discovering him, and then they were booking a bunch of classes with him, and he got a good deal out of uploading his content up there. So
I mean, he makes.
This is the perfect example.
Makes seven figures.
7 figures.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect example. It's like, go where your customer is. So lesson there, learn where your customer is.
That is right. I love it.
All right.
That was a good story to finish this off. Guys, make sure if you got any predictions for content in 2022, what do you think is going to be super hot that people are going to be, flocking to and consuming? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about Content is Profit, Content Momentum, just talk to us. Go to @BIZBROSCO on Facebook, on Instagram, send us a DM, or you can go to contentsprofit.com and put your email right there and we'll send you the minimal viable content.
Oh, baby, let's go. Ooh. With that said, thank you so much for tuning into the Content is Profit podcast. Go ahead and follow the show on your favorite platform and on social media @BIZBROSCO.
That is right. And if help you move one step closer towards your goal, whoa! Please don't forget to share this episode with 3 friends and leave a 5-star review. See ya.
Bye, guys.